Okay, so this is the July 18th meeting of the Council on Aging, and let's get this meeting started. I'll do a roll call of the voting members, at least attendance check. Chris is here. Yes?
Yes.
Susan?
I am.
Damon?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yep.
Myself. And in attendance in the supporting role is our good friend here, Cindy. Public comments, I'm not gonna read it, no one's in the audience. If someone shows up at a later time I will read it, but we'll proceed to the review and the approval of the June 27th, 2022 meeting minutes.
Motion to approve?
Second. I don't think we need any discussion on that, do we?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Now, I passed out a draft, and this is aimed at replacement of the Council on Aging van. I tried to do this pretty quickly because Alicia announced at the last select board meeting that the state had over $2 billion worth of potential ARPA grant money to pass out at some point in time. So I thought it would be a good idea to try to set the stage to try to get some of it for the van, and we'll walk through this. I'm hoping that we can come to grips with this this morning, vote to present it to the select board at the next meeting, which I think is next week, and we can go from there. So the second page, the current status. I believe to be part of the capital planning list, the asset has to be 6 years old and have at least 100,000 miles on it. I believe that's the criteria. Our van is 6 years old. It's less than 100,000 miles. I think it's about 75,000 miles. Right now, it's at an age and mileage that we're experiencing expected age-related repairs and maintenance. The accommodations for handicapped people and disabled clients are antiquated and somewhat unsafe. They're not used by some clients because of their concern for safety and the cumbersome accommodations. And as I said already, it's listed in the Newbury Capital Plan inventory with a replacement cost of $150,000. And that's a key number, okay? Next, there's a lot of pages dedicated to the price proposal that Cindy got for a van. If you flip to the last page of it, you'll see the bus cost is listed, and it says $175,000. So financially, on the very next page, the van quote is $175,000. We have some assets already. We've got a grant from the Mass Executive Office of Health and Services for $68,000. The Friends of the Newbury Council on Aging gave us a subsidizing donation check. It's in hand, we've got it, we actually received it, for $15,000. So we've got $83,000 that we can apply to that quote, that cost. So I think what I'm essentially trying to do is, and what Cindy and I are trying to do is, request for either current ARPA money, if there's any left, or future new ARPA grant funds for $92,000. Attachment B just happens to be what Cindy has already submitted that was on hold, asking for that amount of money for the project description. So that balances out, that equals $175,000 in assets, and that would cover the cost.
Quick question,
Sure.
is that guaranteed, or do we have to put anything in it to make it, other than registering it?
I
Ready to
believe it's
go.
turnkey,
Ready to go.
ready to use.
Okay.
Ready to
All
use.
right.
So what's the benefit of doing this early and not waiting till 2024? It has state-of-the-art disability accommodations. It avoids mileage and age-caused repairs. It's probably the only source of public transportation the town has, because we don't have any Merrimack Valley bus routes in town, okay? And essentially, it avoids the cost of $150,000, which is what's in the capital plan. That's taxpayer money that would not have to be paid. Okay, so I would think that would be perceived as goodness. And it was budgeted for fiscal year '24, which starts 2024, not just '24. That starts next year from this past July, so it's in the near future. I think Alicia was telling me that this money, potential ARPA grant money, more than $2 billion, may have a little delay on it. They may be holding it to allow the new governor to be able to parse it out. Okay, so I'm not sure what the timing is, and honestly, I don't know if there's any ARPA grant money left already. The town already has, but I just thought if we made the pitch for it, we could get it right now or be on the slate to get some of it when we do get it. So my plan is to try to present this to the select board at their next meeting and have them vote on it. We'll see what happens. Chris sent me she went through it. She had some recommendations of things to change. I can do that. I just verbally discussed it. Chris was saying maybe we should put down there's more than 75,000 miles on it.
I'll double check that number for you.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking that since there's a sensitivity about it should be more than 100,000 miles, maybe I'll defer to just keep 100,000 miles. It's less than 100,000 miles and leave it at that, I'm not sure.
I believe that is a guideline, not etched in stone.
Not etched in stone.
Law.
Yeah.
And there are always extenuating circumstances with vehicles, so, you know,
Right,
rust, stuff like this.
Yeah, and I think the fact that some of the clients are afraid to use it, I think is kind of compelling, you know, so.
Just to be clear, this new model, instead of having stairs and a lift in the back, it's a ramp. The chassis lowers, the ramp comes out.
Yeah,
So you
right.
have
That's
a
cool.
rolling walker
Yeah.
or a cane, it's so much easier for you to get on.
It
Yeah,
is
and that's
the-
what I was saying or I was intending to say in there, that position it as the things that they're lacking currently and what makes the clients afraid, because just saying afraid, you know, it's,
Right.
okay, I can be afraid because it's color blue, I don't know,
Right,
it's
right.
because it's
Right.
Good
not
point.
safe for me,
That's
you
a good
know.
point. That's a good point. All right, well, I could add that to it if maybe you can capture what their concerns are.
Yeah, I think
Let's
it's
not
all
say
in
that.
that, basically I put it all in that initial
And,
ARPA.
and the ARPA grant
Yeah.
request? Perfect, I can reference that and do it. I'm open to any comments, obviously.
I just have two questions, go ahead.
No, you first.
One question is there any trade-in value or resale value on the van that we currently have that would offset this a little bit? I mean, what happens to the van we have?
I think my understanding is that when they like retire a police car or an asset like that, they pretty much declare it as surplus and auction it off.
Yeah.
And I think that sum of money goes to the town. It wouldn't be applied directly to this. That's a good question. I asked if the $175,000 covered sales tax, and Cindy said it's a nonprofit.
We don't have, so.
Don't worry about that, so.
But I do
Right.
believe you can trade in. I do believe that. We do it with the police cruisers, with the ambulances, with the fire trucks, you know, we do it with a lot of things, so. Definitely have to look into that, see what it's worth,
Okay,
you know.
that's good.
It gets rid of a whole bunch of paperwork.
Suppose.
You know, to auction it on a bid is just not worth it. I've been through that in many different vehicles down the road, so.
Well, it just seems if it has some life in it, somebody
It could be useful to someone else, like, especially, yeah.
uses it, yeah, some organization.
Second question?
Second question is, are we getting just the proposal from Creative Bus Sales, or are we getting any other proposals?
I can look I specifically was looking for, obviously, the ramp. There's lots of different vans out there, that are exactly like what we have now, which is not really what I was,
Trying.
I'm trying to fix a problem that I see. So that's why I can certainly look and see if there's other
Yeah.
vans that have this
The
option.
ramp system.
I'm just thinking it might come up as a question that the select
Sure.
board would have, because a lot of times anything government spending has to go out to bid.
Yeah.
Multiple.
it will come up.
Yeah,
Alright, so
I will look at other
let's deal
vendors,
with it
yeah.
before we make the
Yeah.
presentation, so,
Okay.
but I think the van looks fantastic. Is it comparable to like what Newburyport has? I've seen their,
I think they have stairs and a lift, even on their new van. So this is, if you look at the picture, it is a little bit slimmer too, and I don't know if you've seen Newburyports around town, but theirs is pretty wide.
Yeah.
But this still holds, I think it's 10 passengers seated and 2 wheelchairs. If you look at the, yeah, 10 passengers seated and then 2 wheelchairs, but there's also these seats that just fold down if we needed 2 more people. For example, if staff was going on a trip, we could sit in those 2 seats over there.
yeah, I like it. I think it's
Damon,
nice.
you have a question?
Yeah, one was about, I have a few comments. The first is that I think it's generally, when you're asking for grant money, a better idea to ask for more than you need. So instead of the 92, ask for 100,000 or 125, because they often knock your grants down. So you get less, and that might free up money, other grant money, unless it's specific to do other things. I would definitely add the concerns that people have about the van, because I've already heard commentary that the van is functioning and it works, and so that those concerns need to be present in the proposal, because if the van is functioning, there's definitely resistance to putting out money, even if it turned out to be all grant money. People still sometimes don't want to spend the money. And what was the other? I had one more thing, but I forgot it now. The lag time and overlap time if we don't do a trade-in. So if the proposal goes through, we get the grant money, how long will it take to get the van? Or how long could we hold off on buying it if we decided we wanted to get up to 80,000 miles or 95,000 miles? We've seen a lot of, or conversely, if we buy the van, how long is it going to take for delivery? With a fire truck, it takes sometimes a year or more.
Yeah.
And so I just wasn't sure what, is this something that is in stock and made, or is this something that is custom to the town of Newbury?
At the time when I initially was looking at this, they had a few that were gonna be ready in September.
Wow.
Okay.
That,
Yeah.
they could probably be gone by now, or maybe not.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
knows? Okay.
It's not like a van that everyone's out there looking to buy.
No,
So,
it's,
maybe they'll still be in stock, but that's certainly something I can talk to, this dealer and the other dealers that I look at. The other thing I liked about this particular gentleman is, I believe they have a factory in New Hampshire, and he can bring one down here and have us get on it and try it and
test it out.
test it out. So, instead of buying it sight unseen.
Chuck, anything?
Just a comment to one of your questions is, people saying it's still working. I got that all the time with the fire equipment, with the ambulances, and folks, it's time to update. Police cruisers, same thing. People say, oh, there's only 100,000 miles on the police cruiser. But look how many hours it has. Because they sit there and they idle. It's those things you need to look into and not just, oh, there's only so many miles on it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hours on a vehicle sitting there idling. So that's the argument to make.
So I think it seems to me I should not ask for a motion to present this as is to the select board. It sounds like there are a lot of good ideas of how to embellish it to be more persuasive, I think.
Well, I think what you could do is, we could make a motion to include the recommendations from the Council on Aging and incorporate those into a presentation to be given to the selectmen, just so it can move forward at this time, because, you have notes from this meeting and everyone's
Make a
got their.
motion. Okay.
All right, I move that the draft have the recommendations from this meeting included into it and be presented to the selectmen at the first available opportunity.
Second the motion.
Any discussion now? Vote, all in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Great.
okay, great work on that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of research in there that people don't realize how much goes into it, so thank you.
Oh, the research is done by Cindy. All I did.
Again.
All I did was put heat on the Friends to deliver a check for $15,000 so far, anyway.
I have a question about the ARPA money. Wasn't there ARPA money already earmarked for the COA, which is?
That's for downstairs.
It's just for that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
This would be a separate grant for it. Okay, we talked about last meeting possibly changing the time of the monthly meeting. I'm not gonna, I don't think it makes sense to hash it out here, but if you would, send me a note or voicemail message or a text message or something and tell me the best time for you personally to have one of these meetings. If it can avoid people missing work, I'd like to do that. I'd like not to do it on Friday because Cindy doesn't work on Fridays. I'd like to do it when this room is available so we can record it simply. So just do that and I'll try to make sense out of it, put it together. And if we can do that in the next couple of weeks, it'd be great. And then we can discuss something in August. Okay?
Why are we considering changing the time?
Well, Damon and Chuck work, Chris has obligations to do things, and I know this used to be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I think Damon has to have it earlier because of work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Joyce herself has obligations in the afternoon, and depending on what's going on with her rental property, she has obligations in the morning too, so that's the only reason that I'd like to try to at least look at it. Okay?
Okay, just curious.
Sure. I don't have, well, for a chairman's report, I would like to say Cindy's husband and Cindy have spent an awful lot of time downstairs, opening cardboard boxes. All of the furniture that came in was in pieces. And all the desks had to be assembled, the chairs are in pieces, and even I was there assembling chairs for a while too, but not as much as Cindy and Mark. So that's
no other come.
You can see a lot of empty boxes out inside the door when you walk by, and there's many more to come, so. But it looks like there's some personal touches being added to it already. Cindy and Kathy have acquired some stuff, and it's gonna be really good. I think I'd like to help out to get all the chairs assembled this week. And Cindy's had a volunteer from someone from Plum Island who's helped out, which is great too. So that's encouraging. I think I'm really encouraged by that.
We're so close.
A big thank you for that.
Really?
We're happy to do
Exciting.
it. We're excited to get in there, so.
So let's proceed to the director's report.
Okay. So a lot of our regular programs are ongoing, our exercise classes, game nights, bingo, watercolor class, those participation numbers are pretty steady. We are going to increase our van offerings. We're starting to offer Tuesday afternoons from 12 to 3 for local medical appointments. So that is in the next newsletter to let people know if you have something local in a Jake's somewhere in Newburyport. We have a lot of people using the meat rides, and a lot of times they're local. And if we can help by having a van available, and now that the fiscal year is new and I've gotten an increase in the van budget, the van driver budget, I can do that more. So we've added those, and hopefully we'll have more times that we can add going forward. Our grab and go traveling chef meal will be moving to an in-person meal. Currently it's, as it's stated, grab and go, you take it to leave. But the initial intention of that meal, I think we talked about this last time, was to be in like an in-person social event. So as of October, that will be downstairs once a month. And that'll be announced in the next newsletter. New programs that we have coming up over the next 2 months that are in this next newsletter, which went to the printer on Friday, so we should be receiving it sometime this week. So it will go out in time for the beginning of August. We have a mindfulness workshop with a volunteer instructor. That's on 8/25 at 1 o'clock. She's gonna talk about kind of recentering yourself and learning how to kind of handle the chaos of daily life. We have an ice cream sandwich social on August 31st. Homemade greeting card workshop on September 8th. Animal World Experience. This gentleman has either somehow acquired or adopted or rescued all kinds of different animals, and he brings them around. Kathy has done this with her other job. He brings them around. It might be a chinchilla, it might be a turtle, it might be a snake, or whatever. And he will kind of explain about the animal itself. You have the opportunity to touch it. We'll do it. You don't have to touch all the animals, but if you'd like to hold a rabbit or a chinchilla, we're kind of hoping a lot of them are going to be furry. We don't know exactly what he's going to bring until, it depends on the day.
So when is that?
So that is September 20th at 1 p.m. Open enrollment for Medicare starts October 15th. It runs October 15th to December 7th. If you are already enrolled in Medicare and you want to make changes to your plan, that is your opportunity during the year. We have a Shine counselor, SHINE. So open enrollment is October 15th to December 7th.
Thank you.
We have a Shine counselor at our Council on Aging. We'll meet individually with folks. What we've asked though is to have an informational, just like a broad informational session. So the woman who runs the Shine program and one of her Shine counselors, I believe it's going to be Max, our Shine counselor. On September 27th, it's an evening program from 5 to 6:30. They will come and do a presentation about enrolling in Medicare, sort of general questions. And then folks will have the opportunity to meet individually with Max. For the past couple of years, those meetings have been done via telephone because of COVID. I don't know if they're changing that. If they are changing that, we have the consult room downstairs. I will have a computer and printer set up in there, telephone. People can go in and meet privately with the Shine counselor. If they are still doing it remotely, then we'll do what we did before, is we get your information, have you fill out a form, Max comes and gets the form, calls the person and does everything over the phone. Volunteers, we have several volunteers ready to help. Janet has a few people who are willing to assist with grocery shopping, friendly visits or wellness visits or wellness calls. So if you or someone you know is interested in having something like that, I put this in the newsletter to give us a call. We also have 2 volunteer needs. We are looking to have receptionist help once we move in downstairs. Monday through Thursday, anywhere from 10 to 2 in those hours. We'd love to have someone being able to greet folks when they come in, help us with answering the phones, taking messages, things like that. We're also looking for a van assistant, someone to go on the van shopping on the Tuesday and Thursday mornings. So if you need, instead of having the van driver have to get on and off the van, help you get your rolling walker down, help you get your groceries on and off the van, we want the van driver to stay put on the van. We'd have a volunteer who could help bring your groceries right to your doorstep, load the groceries on the van. They can go into the store, do you need some help finding something, that kind of thing. So that's what we're looking for. Both of those things are in the next newsletter. As I mentioned, the space is all ready. We're just waiting for a little bit more furniture to be delivered and waiting on Comcast to be set up. Once the phones are moved over, we're good to go. So that's just what we're waiting for. We do have an open house scheduled. We waited to do the open house till October, so October 18th from 2 to 6 p.m. There'll be more details in the next newsletter, but Kathy and I and Janet are still working on sort of what we're going to do. We'll, have some refreshments. But people are free to just come in, kind of get an idea for the new space, sit and stay if you want, or come and go, whatever you want to do. But we are going to ask our van drivers to be there, see if the Meals on Wheels driver can stop by, just so everyone can meet the staff, know who's working there, and come see what we have to offer. And then the other thing I did put in the newsletter this year is the 19th annual Newburyport chocolate tour. It is on Saturday, October 1st from 12 to 4 p.m. This year, again, the Newbury Council on Aging will be a recipient of the proceeds. They've been very generous. So Newbury and 3 other councils on aging, as well as a few other local nonprofits, will benefit from this. Last year, they gave us a check for something like $2,000. So it's pretty significant. It goes towards, specifically towards the prescription help and transportation. So what we've actually been really using it for, because it's the biggest need, when people don't have a ride into their medical appointments, particularly to Boston. If they can't get a neat ride, if there's no neat drivers available, we will get a taxi to bring them in and to bring them back. So
When is that?
Pays for that. The chocolate tour is Saturday, October 1st, from 12 to 4. There's details in the newsletter about where you can, I know it's from the Newburyport Chamber of Commerce, but there's several places where you can buy tickets. But I put all kinds of information in the newsletter so people can see that. So you go around to different shops, you try different, I think your ticket is $20 if you buy it ahead of time, maybe $25 on the day of the event. They only sell, I believe it's 400 tickets. So reserve yours so you can taste some delicious chocolate and you benefit some really great organizations in the area.
Thank you. New business, thanks Cindy. New business. I was thinking that it might make sense for me to say at every one of these meetings, to let the public know, anyone who's watching this or anyone who happens to show up, that the bylaw that established this council allowed us to have 9 members, 9 voting members. We have 6 voting members. So if anyone has a passion and the appetite to try to contribute anything to the Council on Aging and to help the community, feel free to send a notification to the Select Board and ask to be appointed. The Select Board appoints people to this council. We don't do it, the Select Board does it. And the other thing I'd like to say is on August 7th, Sunday, August 7th, I'm going to have a somewhat brief ceremony to mark the occasion of Newbury being a Purple Hat town. August 7th is the day that's designated as the day to nationally observe Purple Hat recipients.
Oh,
So it'll be, I got permission to use the upper green, and I'll work up some kind of an announcement and get it out.
That's a
It'll be-
Sunday?
It's Sunday, yeah, it'll be at 4 o'clock. I believe that
What time?
4 o'clock.
4? Okay.
Yeah, I believe the
Thank you.
festivities in Newburyport end at 3 o'clock. The parade walks by the upper green. It's over at 3 o'clock, so we'll do something there. It's not gonna be as elaborate as it was on March 29th, but it at least sets precedent that every year we should have some kind of acknowledgement for those people. Any other new business? No? Oh, good. I don't think we have executive session, so we should entertain a motion to adjourn.
Do you want
Oh, I'm
to set
sorry. August 15th, Monday, August 15th is the next meeting.
Okay.
Third Monday in August.
Next meeting is? Okay.
August 15th, yeah.
Okay.
So now we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Alright.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.